You're sitting at your desk and someone drops a task in front of you. A spreadsheet, a broken process, some small fire that everyone else is panicking about. And you see the fix instantly. It's right there, clean and obvious, like a word on the tip of your tongue that you'll never say out loud. Instead, you squint. You tilt your head. You do that little pause where your eyes drift across the screen like you're genuinely struggling, and then you say it. I'm not really sure how this works. You watch them sigh. You watch them take it back. You watch someone else spend 45 minutes solving something you could have handled in 4. And the second they walk away, 2 things land in your chest at the exact same time. Relief. And a thin, quiet line of shame you will never describe to another person. Because you already know the word for what you just did. You just don't say it. This isn't about laziness. This isn't about work ethic. This is about a survival protocol your nervous system installed without asking, and it's been running so long you forgot it wasn't you. Here's what's happening in your body during that fake squint. Your anterior cingulate cortex, the part of your brain that weighs effort against reward, is running a cost analysis faster than you can think. It's asking one question on repeat. If I solve this, what happens next? In a normal environment, the answer is straightforward. Recognition, maybe rest, a signal that says your energy was well spent. But your environment didn't send that signal. Your environment sent a different one. It said, "Oh, you're good at this? Here's more." Your reward for being competent wasn't reward. It was extraction, more tasks, more responsibility, same paycheck, same recognition, which is to say, none. Your brain logged that, not once, hundreds of times. And eventually your reward circuitry did something it was always designed to do. It flipped. Being useful became a threat, and your cortex started downgrading your output to keep you safe. But here's where it gets darker than you expected. This isn't a bug. This is an ancient system doing exactly what it evolved to do. In any social species, and you are one whether your personality test says introvert or not, hierarchies distribute labor based on perceived capacity. The member who demonstrates high skill gets assigned high-cost tasks. That's not exploitation in a healthy group. It's efficient delegation. But it depends on one non-negotiable condition. The high performer has to receive proportional return. Protection. Resources. Rest. When that return vanishes, when the group keeps pulling but stops giving back, the organism faces a metabolic crisis. You're burning more than you're receiving, and your hypothalamus doesn't care about your annual review. It cares about glucose reserves and cortisol levels, and whether you'll have enough energy to survive the next perceived threat. So it does something elegant and ruthless. It tells your prefrontal cortex to lower the bid, to make the group believe you're less capable than you are, so they stop draining your reserves. Your brain isn't making you lazy. Your brain is running a fire sale on your social value to keep the lights on inside. Picture this. Someone at home asks you to handle something logistical. Book a flight, organize the schedule, manage a situation you've managed a dozen times without effort. And you fumble it. Not dramatically, just enough. You leave one field blank, you pick the wrong time. You hand it back with a look that says, "I tried," and the other person exhales through their nose, takes it over, and quietly adds it to their pile. You didn't plan that. There was no scheming. Your body performed the incompetence before your conscious mind even caught up. By the time you noticed, the task was gone, and you were sitting in a strange cocktail of calm and self-disgust, unable to explain either one. That's the protocol firing. That's your nervous system doing the math and deciding that visible competence costs more than it returns. Now flip it. Think about the person who picked that task up. They didn't take it because they wanted to. They took it because your performance convinced them they had no other option. And here's the part that should sit heavy. Every time you deflate your competence, their load increases. Not once, cumulatively, over months, over years. They are carrying a version of reality that you manufactured, one where they're the capable one, and you're the one who just doesn't quite get it. They build resentment. They burn out. They start lying awake, wondering why they're always the one holding everything together. And they never once suspect that the person sitting next to them decided on a biological level to let them drown. You didn't choose to be cruel, but your nervous system chose efficiency over honesty. And the invoice landed on someone else's desk. That's the line you won't forget. You didn't choose to be cruel, but the invoice landed on someone else's desk. And the cruelest part isn't the deception. The cruelest part is that it works. Strategic incompetence is one of the most successful social strategies your brain has access to. And because it works, it reinforces itself. Every time you underperform and the consequence is less work instead of punishment, your dopamine system quietly logs the result. Less effort, same safety, lower cost. The loop tightens. The behavior becomes more automatic. You stop being someone who pretends to be less capable. You become someone who genuinely can't access their competence when the old pattern fires. The mask fuses to the face. And that version of you that actually knew the answer. It starts to feel like a memory you're not sure you trust. Some of you just felt that in your stomach. Good. That means the mask hasn't fully set yet. Your body is keeping its own books through all of this, and the ledger is ugly. Chronic suppression of competence doesn't feel like rest to your nervous system. It feels like hiding. And hiding has a metabolic signature. Elevated baseline cortisol from the constant low-grade performance of being less than you are. Disrupted sleep because your brain is running threat detection on the social consequences of being discovered. Quiet immune suppression because energy that should go to repair is going to the costume. You thought you were conserving energy. Your body is spending it on the disguise. So here's what's actually happening every time you stare blankly at a task you could solve in 4 minutes. Your cortex detects a competence request. Your anterior cingulate checks the historical ledger and finds the pattern. Effort was punished, not rewarded. Your hypothalamus flags the caloric risk. Your prefrontal cortex downgrades the output. Someone else absorbs the cost. Your body pays for the performance in cortisol and fragmented sleep. And the version of you that could have simply done the thing and been recognized for it gets buried one layer deeper under a strategy that was supposed to protect you, but is slowly replacing you. You're not a parasite. You're a system running a protocol it wrote in an environment that no longer exists, performing for an audience that stopped watching, saving energy it's spending on the disguise. Your body doesn't distinguish between a threat that's real and a pattern that was real once. It just keeps the mask on and sends you the bill. Next time you catch yourself mid-performance, the fake confusion, the deliberate fumble, the blank stare you've perfected over years, you won't be able to unsee what's underneath it. Not laziness, not selfishness. A nervous system that learned the most dangerous lesson any social animal can learn. That being good at something is the fastest way to lose everything. And the only part of you that doesn't know it yet is the part that's going to get up tomorrow, walk into that room, and do it all over again.